Alright guys, this is going to be kind of a two-part video. I know that we have a lot of free time right now. A lot of people are just bored in their houses in quarantine with the coronavirus going on. So, as always, we're going to be bringing Dynasty Fantasy Football content. We're not going to be talking about everything going on around the world. We don't need to hear any more about that. Everyone's talking about that. Let's try to distract ourselves for the moment, talk about Dynasty Fantasy Football, and really what we can do this offseason to improve our teams. And how we're going to do this today is I'm going to be going over the recent draft results for the Dynasty Startup Draft that we have going on right now. And I think that it is extremely important to go over these specific results because I'm going to tell you this right now. Y'all know if y'all watch the video, I am not kind on what my opinions of picks are. If I think that someone has a bad pick in one of our mock drafts or in one of our startup drafts, I go at them. I just say exactly what I think. I go, bad pick. I don't understand it here. You could have waited around. Yada, yada, yada. But we are about 5 rounds in this startup right now. I don't know how many picks I'm going to be able to say that about. This startup draft right here, if I had to go through my rankings for how I would rank players in a Superflex league, this is very close to exactly what I would have down. And everyone's just killing it. So I think save this video. Actually, no, don't save this video. What I'm going to do to help everyone out is I'm going to send the link to this draft in the Discord chat. That way you can try to gauge player value because I think this is very, very similar. This is a lot better than any mock draft ADP data I look to exactly where players should be valued right now. And basically all we need to know about this format is it is Superflex and tight end premium. It's not a massive tight end premium. It's only 1.5 PPR for the tight end position. So let's just jump into it. I'm not going to go through every pick. I'm going to kind of record it on the screen. That way y'all can see it. Y'all can pause the video if y'all want to look closer. But I'm going to go through, try to identify some players that I thought were great value, some picks that really stood out. And first off, let's go to the 106, Kyler Murray. I know a lot of people are going to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you taking Kyler Murray this high? Why are you taking him ahead of Alvin Kamara, Deshaun Watson, George Kittle, Josh Jacobs, and Ezekiel Elliott? I love it. I think Kyler Murray is a fantastic pick here. I think with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, he really has the ceiling of Lamar Jackson. I know that is kind of reckless to say, but Kyler Murray was tremendous his rookie year with absolutely no weapons. The offense is going to try to run as many places they can and be as fast-paced as they can. So really everything is lining up for Kyler Murray to completely smash in 2020 and really increase his dynasty value. I don't know if he's going to be able to go up more from 106, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to be able to really go down from here. So I love the pick at 106. Now let's go down. An obvious value was Ezekiel Elliott at 112. I do like the boldness of taking Josh Jacobs ahead of him just because the workload Ezekiel Elliott has taken on his entire career. So that's more of a long-term play. This is Dynasty Fantasy Football. I like the boldness, but Ezekiel Elliott is definitely a solid pick at 112. Now, y'all know what I got to do here. As we move on to round 2, I have to point it out. Chris Godwin, 202. I'm probably going to say this in every Dynasty Startup Draft that we have this offseason. I'm probably never going to like where Chris Godwin's drafted, especially with the addition of Tom Brady and the departure of Jameis Winston. Like I said in the specific Tom Brady video, I do think that it does not hurt Chris Godwin as much as it hurts Mike Evans, but I do think we have to predict a dip in Chris Godwin's production in 2020, and I would not be taking him this early in the startup. Now, let's keep on scrolling, see if anything stands out. Here, this is a very interesting pick at 208 and 209. I was almost positive that Mark here at 208 was going to go Joe Mixon and leave me with the rookie 101 pick, and I was excited to take it. But nonetheless, he decides to take it himself, which I cannot complain with. I mean, I have no problems with it. I most likely would have taken the 101 pick over Joe Mixon as well, just because it gives you the flexibility and the upside if any of the running backs land in a prime landing spot. Now, let's continue to go. I love Joseph going Dak Prescott at the 211. That is a clear value in my opinion. Then Miles Sanders, 304. I know I don't want to just keep on pointing out my picks, but I think that this was kind of unreal. I doubt this happens in a lot of our Dynasty Startup Drafts. I doubt he lasts this long, but I was extremely happy to get him here. He was light years ahead of any player left on the board, in my opinion. Now, let's go down. Let me point out one pick that I did not like, and that's at the 311, and that is the rookie pick 106. I just can't get behind taking the rookie pick 106 ahead of Mike Evans, Carson Wentz, Julio Jones, Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette, really any of the players this pick went right above. At the 106, you're going to be looking at pretty much the wide receiver one in the class, maybe Justin Herbert, maybe Cam Akers, somewhere around that range. You're not going to be able to get DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, Tua Tagovailoa, or Joe Burrow. So at the 106, I think that's kind of too high for it. I expected it to go about a round later, but still at the same time, I can understand taking it just because it gives you flexibility down the line. Now let's continue to go. I want to point out Derrick Henry at 405. Now, obviously, very solid value, very, very good, and just a great pick overall. Now let's continue to go. Here we get into kind of one big tier. Aaron Jones at 407. I know this is a lot later than he's going to go in a lot of dynasty drafts. And this is kind of my point to where I was saying that this draft was really good. People were really smart. I think Aaron Jones in most dynasty leagues is way overdrafted. But here at the 407, he is a good value, and I think this is where he belongs. Now at the 408, Mark snipes me. Daniel Jones, really good pick. I thought that it was a clear value for him to fall this far. This format is only 4 points per passing touchdown and 1 point per 25 passing yards. So in my opinion, it gives a boost to the rushing quarterbacks, which is why I was so happy to get Lamar Jackson at 104. Now we go down, keep going. Here we get into one big tier again. I take Kenny Golladay at the 409. It really was a struggle to decide who I was going to take between Kenny Golladay and Odell Beckham Jr. It really came down to the addition of Austin Hooper in the Cleveland offense for me and them retaining Kareem Hunt. And I just thought that Kenny Golladay really has the upside there in Detroit where he does not have to really battle for targets. Now keep going down. At the 412, 501 turn, interesting picks. I don't know if I necessarily would have gone there, but completely understand. And here at the 503, I got sniped again. I wanted Allen Robinson, but at 504, I had a tough decision between DK Metcalf and Calvin Ridley and went with DK Metcalf. Here we are in the draft right now. I'm probably not going to do another update of this draft. But if you do want to check it out, make sure you go down below, join the Discord, join the chat, and there'll be a link in there to view the draft. And if you want in one of our Dynasty startup drafts like this, make sure you go down, join the Discord, shoot me a DM. We are filling up leagues pretty much every other day now. This is the Flock 3 league. The Flock 4 just filled where we are collecting payments and emails. I think that draft might start tonight. And I just began filling the Flock 5 chat. And if you're watching this, I'm recording this on April 1st, so I'd imagine I'm going to be filling the Flock 5 chat for the next 3 or 4 days. So if you want in that draft, you want in that Dynasty League, make sure you shoot me a DM. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer. But yeah, that's it. Really big shout out to everybody in this draft right now. Super smart guys, and they're picking really fast. Love to see it. All right, guys, this is going to be the second part of the video. I'm going to talk about some rookie wide receivers, but before I get into it, this is going to be very similar to the newest episode of Dynasty and Chill that Scott did, but I was asked this question through Patreon, decided I wanted to answer it and wanted to get it out here too. But before you watch this, or after you watch this, whenever you want to, go down in the description below. There's going to be a link to Scott's podcast. He's going to be talking about a very similar thing, but he's going to do a way better job at it than I can. I'll promise you that right now. Scott's a way better Dynasty player than I am and really knows his stuff. So before you watch this or after, if you like this content and you want to dive in a little deeper, go check out Scott's podcast. He knows what he's doing. But essentially, I was asked about the second tier of NFL rookie wide receivers and how I rated them and what I thought of them. And right now, Scott said it best. They are great values. They are going to have great profiles that you can get at the very end of the first round of your rookie drafts and all throughout the second round. So I'm going to break down a couple of them. I'm going to go deep. I'm going to just kind of go over where they're going. Okay, let me stop from talking over myself. We are going to go through grinding the mocks, and we are going to do a very similar thing that Scott did, and we're going to look at where they're being mocked overall, and we're going to talk about them in that order. I'm not necessarily going to rank them, but I'm going to talk about them from a fantasy perspective and then try to give some insight of the player profiles we're looking at. So we're going to avoid talking about CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. They're the two clear-cut top wide receivers in the class when it comes to a fantasy perspective. They're the ones who are going to be going first in every single rookie draft, but we're going to be talking about the entire second round. Nobody really separates themselves. Please leave a comment if you think I'm wrong in saying that, but as of now, I think it's one large tier. So the third wide receiver being drafted in these NFL mock drafts is Henry Ruggs with an average ADP of 15 overall. And we all know about Henry Ruggs. Extremely fast. Really no production at Alabama due to all the weapons in the offense around him. But what I have to say about him is I think he is going to be a great NFL asset. What you have to know is about he may be extremely fast, but he's also a lot bigger than a lot of these fast guys that have flamed out. He is thick and at the same time, he has good hands. So I do see the upside. I know a lot of people compare him to Tyreek Hill. I think that's a reckless thing to say. One, because we see a lot of players have speed, and we see very few players put up the production that Tyreek Hill does. But I think it's safe to say that Henry Ruggs is going to really open up an NFL offense and improve the team around him. In fantasy, though, I may be avoiding just depending what the price is. Now, let's go to Justin Jefferson, who is on Grinding the Mocks, the 18th overall player drafted. And I love Justin Jefferson. The thing about Justin Jefferson is he can play in the slot. He can play anywhere. He is young coming into the NFL. And as of now, I have him as my wide receiver 3 behind Lamb and Jeudy. Really interested to see the landing spot. I think a perfect spot for him would be a place like Philadelphia, where they really have a lot of targets to give to a wide receiver. And I think Justin Jefferson could be extremely successful in a landing spot like that. Now let's move on to the hype guy of the offseason, someone who's moved up most people's boards more than anyone else, and that is Denzel Mims. Now, I'm not really sure what to think about Denzel Mims, but I will say that everyone that I really trust, all the film guys, all the metric guys, they all love him. I don't necessarily see it myself, but I'm not going to go out and say I really know so much more than everyone else does and that you should be avoiding Denzel Mims. And if he gets drafted at 27th overall in the NFL draft, I think his entire profile will check out. Now let's go through someone who's fallen a lot since the last offseason, and T. Higgins. And the thing with T. Higgins is we all know he has the production, he has the pedigree, and he has the size. But he comes in and really doesn't show great athleticism. But I will say everyone was extremely excited about Justin Ross. And T. Higgins basically told Justin Ross, hey, you're not going to be the wide receiver 1 here until I leave. So I do love T. Higgins. I think he can be great for fantasy just because I can see him getting a lot of targets. Now let's go to 36 overall, and that's Laviska Shenault. And if T. Higgins isn't the wide receiver who's lost the most value from the beginning of the offseason to now, it's Laviska Shenault. Obviously, he ran injured at the combine. Don't know who told him to do it, but he did it, and he had to have another surgery, and that's been the thing that has plagued him his entire career. So it's going to be real interesting to see where he's taken in the NFL draft, and if he does go this high, honestly, I'm going to kind of throw the injuries out the window, because if he met with team doctors and they kind of cleared him and they said, hey, this guy's a talent, we're able to take him this high in the NFL draft, I think we don't really have to worry about the injuries. Now, 39, another big faller, Jalen Reagor. Reagor has been someone that I've really said I was never going to draft. I was never high on Jalen Reagor just because I see him as a worse version of Henry Ruggs. I think that his best case scenario is he really helps an NFL team, but at the same time, he's not going to be able to command a significant amount of targets. So he's probably going to be someone that I'm looking to avoid in fantasy football. Now at 43, under the radar player in my opinion, Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk doesn't really get much talked about. I know that everyone on Twitter was saying how every NFL scout pretty much had him rated higher than N'Keal Harry right now compared to last year. So that's interesting. But at the same time, I think that most people are still overlooking him, and I think he's going to fall to the bottom of this tier for a lot of Dynasty players, at least from what I've heard in Dynasty circles. So I could imagine myself getting a lot of Brandon Ayuk. Now we're going to go to KJ Hamler, who's going at 57 overall. Thing with him is he's small. I'm most likely going to be off on him. I think he's too much of an outlier for me to go out and chase. Now at 72, we see Chase Claypool being taken. And he's freakish. I mean, he is a freak athlete. He has a massive size. I know a lot of people are screaming for him to switch to tight end, but whether he does or not, he's a developmental player in my opinion. And I don't think he's going to do much his rookie season. So because I don't think he's really going to do anything his rookie year, there's no reason for me to invest in him, even if I believe in him long term, just because I can go out next offseason and trade for him at a lower price. And it will be the same profile. The only difference is he won't have the rookie year production, but we didn't really expect him to. I compare this to it's like the Miles Boykin syndrome. We all knew Miles Boykin came into the NFL. He was a great athlete. Nobody thought that he was polished. Nobody thought he was going to do anything year one, but people still drafted him for long term. And he went out, did exactly what everyone thought. He didn't do anything his rookie year, but he still has the potential, yet we've seen his value decrease dramatically. So I think I'm going to have the same course of action with Chase Claypool because I didn't end up with Miles Boykin anywhere, but I can tell you one thing is that I am trading for him right now. Now, at 74 overall, we're going to go to Michael Pittman, who, in my opinion, is kind of like Justin Jefferson. I think he can soak up a lot of targets. I think he has kind of a complete profile to play anywhere on the field, and I really like him. I'm going to be ending up with him a lot in Dynasty rookie drafts. So, conclusion of the video, we're going to be getting a lot of good rookie wide receivers. I know a lot of people are comparing this to the 2014 class. I'm not going to say it's that good. That was my first year playing Dynasty Fantasy Football, my first year evaluating rookies, or at least listening to other people evaluate rookies. I wasn't doing anything my own at that time. And so I have a special place for them in my heart. So it doesn't matter how good of the draft class comes in. I'm never going to say that they're better than that 2014 class. And I think that what this class has is depth. I don't think there's a clear stud at the top. CeeDee Lamb is very good, but I think we're going to be able to really get a lot of good wide receiver threes on our roster in the late second round of rookie drafts, which is not something you can say every year. But thanks so much for checking out the video, guys. As always, if you want to support the channel, go down, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment if I said anything wrong. I love to hear when y'all disagree with me. I love to hear, I'm being 100% genuine. I love to hear when y'all correct me, just because I don't want to say something in the video that's just completely off base and completely wrong, and then everyone just goes with it. I want someone to say in the comments where it's wrong. I'll pin it, that way everyone sees. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.